You said Peter said he's on.
Hi, I'm online now waiting for the host to start my Zoom meeting at 3 p.m. Oh God, isn't the right thing.
I just started it. Stop this recording. Actually, just pause it.
Apartment in Sydney. So thanks for attending. And I don't know where you are. It doesn't matter. All that matters now, I know you've already had some workshops. All that matters now is that you pay attention. Because I'm gonna today, in the next sort of 50 minutes, explain to you what mindfulness is. You've all heard of that word mindfulness, but I'm going to just talk a little bit about what it is. I'm going to tell you how to get it and share with you, as Edmund said, some pretty simple techniques. And this is an interactive session, so you're going to be learning some skills. So let me tell you what it is first. The most basic definition I know, and the one I use every day, is this. Mindfulness is the science of paying attention. And it's the awareness, firstly, of self, and then the external world, by having A, a practice of mindfulness, and then B, by integrating the practice. So it's setting an intention and it's paying attention. So have a guess what the average attention span of a human being is today. I'll tell you, it's about 10 to 12 seconds. That's it. 10 to 12 seconds. Goldfish is about 4 seconds. So we're heading down there with the goldfish. Our attention span currently is only about 10 to 12 seconds. So if you're practicing mindfulness, you're focusing, you're concentrating, you're exercising a muscle in the brain, which I call attention. And I'd like you to think of attention as a muscle. And if you don't use it, you lose it. And a lot of us spend a lot of our days in constant distraction, with our mind wandering all over the place. And we multitask all day. So we're not practicing mindfulness. So let me give you another definition now of mindfulness, because it's a few things. So it's the science of paying attention. It's even setting the intention that you're going to pay attention. So I'd love you all to do that right now. Just set an intention. Decide now that you're going to pay attention for the next sort of 45, 50 minutes. And that will help you get more out of this session. Just simply setting that intention, deciding up front what you want out of this session. That's the first step. Here's another definition. Mindfulness is this. It's paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment or non-judgmentally. And that definition took me about 10 to 12 seconds to say. So by my previous definition that our attention span is only about 10 to 12 seconds, some of you missed that definition. You were already distracted. You didn't hear it. You weren't paying attention. You were maybe multitasking, doing something, sending an email, looking at something else, listening to some music, whatever. Okay, so let me give it to you again. Mindfulness is this. It's paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. Non-judgmentally paying attention. And the non-judgment, the without judgment is often the most challenging thing, because what we do when we watch someone speak, when we meet someone, when we log on to something, we immediately start judging what they're saying. You're judging what I look like. Whatever I'm saying, you're judging that. That's not mindfulness. So it's the science of paying attention. It's being aware of what you're paying attention to. So I'm going to challenge you this next 50 minutes. And I'm going to start the challenges right now. So I want you to do a little paying attention exercise with me. I want you to test yourself as to how well you pay attention. And there's no real right or wrong. There's just you're either paying attention or you're distracted. So I'm going to ask you to sit comfortably still. This is the first technique I'm going to teach you. Sit comfortably still. So in fact, why don't you set, I'm going to write that up there, set the intention that you're going to pay attention for the next 6 or 7 minutes. And we'll see how we'll see how you go. So I want you to have your feet flat on the floor. I want you to have your arms and legs uncrossed. Your hands sort of up or down on your lap, on the thighs. I want you to close your mouth. I want you to close your eyes eventually. And when you close your eyes, as soon as you close your eyes, your mind is going to wander. Think of your attention as a muscle. The reason the brain needs the attention muscle, think of this pen as a torch. And imagine I'm switching the torch on and there's a laser focus on the torch. And I'm shining that torch onto something. That's what your attention is. In fact, the brain needs the attention muscle. It solves one of the biggest problems of the brain, which is there's so much sensory data and thoughts coming in every second that we get into overwhelm if we didn't have this muscle called attention, this torch focusing in on certain things. So that's what I want you to think of your attention muscle as. And when you close your eyes, your mind's going to wander. Just come back to what I'm saying and what I'm asking you to pay attention to. And it'll wander again. And just notice that it's wandering. Don't judge that, just bring it back to what I'm saying. So, everyone ready? Feet flat on the floor, sitting comfortably still. Close the mouth, close the eyes now. Just gently close the eyes. And I want you to pay attention to your left big toe. As best you can, down there, left big toe. Bottom of the left foot. Top of the left foot. Left ankle. The entire left foot, as best you can, down there where your left foot is. Feel your shoe, feel your sock. Notice your left foot on the floor. Just focus down there. Wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So just direct your energy, your attention, your torchlight down there. Left shin. Come up to the left shin. That's that big flat bone beneath the knee. The left calf muscle now. That's that sort of fatty muscle behind the shin. Focus on the left knee. And if your mind wanders, and it will, that's normal, just come back to the left knee. Left thigh. Left bottom. Left bum. Notice the left bum against your clothing, against the chair. Now focus on the entire left leg. The entire left leg. Right big toe. Switch over to the right side, the right big toe. The bottom of the right foot. Top of the right foot. Right ankle. The entire right foot. The right shin. The right calf muscle. The right knee. And if and when you get distracted by thoughts or sounds, just notice that and come back, in this case, to the right knee. Right thigh. Right bottom. The entire right leg. the entire bottom. Just notice your bottom. Not judging it, just noticing it. Against the chair, against your clothing. Mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose, gently, eyes closed. Come up to the lower back. Move your focus from the lower back around to the belly button at the front. While you're there paying attention to the belly button, I want you to take 3 big, long, deep, slow breaths right down into the belly. Pay attention right down to the belly. 3 big, long, deep, slow, balanced breaths. Same length in, same length out. When you finish those, just move your focus from the belly back around to the lower back. And now move your focus, your attention up to the middle of the back. Feel the middle of the back maybe against the chair, against your clothing. Shoulder blades at the back. Back of the shoulders at the top. Top of the shoulders. Back of the neck. Back of the head. Top of the head. You're sitting here with intention, paying attention to the top of your head. Eyes are closed, mouth's closed. It's like you're looking at the top of your head. Move forward from the top of the head to the forehead, the forehead. Relax the forehead. Eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaw, mouth. Mouth's closed, eyes are closed. Breathing in and out through the nose. You have a slight smile on your face. And if the whole face is relaxed, the teeth will be a little bit apart in the mouth. Relax the whole face. Chin, front of the neck, chest. Pay attention to the chest. And now pay attention to the heart, where your heart is, just beneath the chest on the left-hand side. Just focus there where your heart is. Keep focusing there. Keep paying attention to your heart. And I want you to take 3 big, long, deep, slow breaths. Imagine you're breathing into the heart. Keep breathing into the heart. Keep focusing, paying attention to the heart. I'm going to say one word, and that word is gratitude. I want you to, while you're breathing into the heart, I want you to think about what you've got to be grateful for right now in your life. Where I am in Sydney, it's about 3:15. It's Friday afternoon. I'm sitting in my 2-bedroom apartment. I'm in the dining room, looking at the lounge room, looking at the kitchen. I've got 5 kids. They've all left home. I've had a lot of challenges myself in the last 12 months with COVID, like most people. But I want you to think about right now what you've got to be grateful for. Just pay attention to that. We all have challenges. But what have you got to be grateful for right now in your life? Think about that as you breathe deeply into your heart. Keep the eyes closed. We're going to finish this little paying attention exercise shortly. Move your focus now from your heart back down to your belly button. And just to finish this little exercise, I want you to take 3 more big, long, deep, slow belly breaths right down into the belly button. Expanding the belly as you breathe in. Contracting the belly as you breathe out. 3 big, long, deep, slow, balanced belly breaths. And when you finish those, just wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes, gently open the eyes. And thank you for participating in that. That was about 8 or 9 minutes of paying attention. I'd love to know how you went. I'd love you to use the chat box. Just make some comments about how that was for you. I guarantee your mind wandered, and that's normal. But how are you feeling right now? Having just given your busy head, your thoughts, a rest. There's 2 main modes of attention. There's thinking and there's sensing. And most of us spend most of our day in our head thinking about stuff. In fact, we on average, every one of us, about 7.7 billion people in the world, we all have about 70,000 thoughts every day. Which, if you do the maths, divide that by 24, that's about 3,000. Divide that by 60, that's about 50. Divide that by 60, that's about 1 thought every second. So that's how many we get every day. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. We can't stop the train of thoughts. I've just got a comment there. Such a naughty mind I have. Okay, that's an interesting comment. I'm not sure what that means, but as the mind's wandering, and I'm not sure what you're thinking about there, being naughty. But look, some of you are saying that you feel refreshed. And the reason you feel refreshed or that you noticed your mind wandering, that's all I wanted you to do, just notice that your mind wanders. That's the first step in practicing mindfulness, is to notice that it does wanders around all the time, okay? It's constantly distracted. And Dr. Adam Fraser, he's an Australian doctor, he's one of his, my favourite quotes from him is, the biggest factor in managing stress is to learn not to be distracted. And we all blame usually the external world for all our distractions. So some of you were saying there that you were surprisingly not very distracted. That's great, and proud of it. Okay, so thank you for that. So it is possible just to give your mind a break. As I said, there's the thoughts and there's senses. And most of us occupy our head all day. That's the most common mode of attention, just paying attention to our thoughts. And we have this body, which is an amazing body. We have an amazing brain, but we inhabit our head all day. And I'm going to show you a little snow globe now. This is my one prop. And hopefully you can all see that. So just pay attention to my snow globe. I've just shaken it up. So you can see the snow, which represents the thoughts. It's a cloudy snow globe now. And now you can see the clouds of the snow sort of starting to settle down and clear. But the snow is like our mind. Well, the snow is our thoughts. The globe is like our mind. And a lot of us are in our busy head all day, just thinking about whatever we're doing, our research, our work, our job, our life, whatever the priorities are for you. And we don't take a break to get out of our thoughts. And I've said we have 72,000 every day, approximately, about 1 every second. And have a guess how many of those are negative. On average, about 75% of those thoughts are negative. by design, because that's how the brain was designed, to save us, to keep us alive, for survival. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But I just want you to know that when you practice mindfulness, which is, there's the practice and there's the integration. So we've just done a little 8-minute practice there, just by focusing on points in our body. That's called a body scan meditation, or I call it my gratitude meditation. If you do yoga, it's called a yoga nidra. So there's many different forms for that type of guided meditation, which I've just taken you through. But it doesn't matter what it's called. You've given your mind a rest, and you've inhabited your body, and you've given your busy head a break. And have a guess what happens when you do that regularly. You have a guess what happens to your mind. It becomes clear, like the snow globe. The thoughts settle. They're just thoughts. They're not the truth. They're, well, Dalai Lama, as you know, probably calls it the monkey mind. I want you to imagine this. I want you to picture this for a minute. This is an analogy I want you just to picture. So I want you to imagine you're all sitting on a train station waiting for a train. And I want you to imagine that there are trains constantly just going past your station, and they're not stopping. So that's like the train of thoughts. We have a constant train of thoughts, one every second. And 75% of those are negative by design. So you have the choice every second, every minute, every hour, every day to be on the train. And that's where a lot of us are. And when we're on the train, we're sort of in our busyness. And we're on a negative train, or sometimes a positive train. 50-50 is probably the best you can go. 50 negative, 50 positive. You're meant to have the negative thoughts to keep you alive, to keep the brain, the reptilian part of the brain, the emotional part of the brain, the amygdala, the stress response. That's what they're for. Okay, so we've evolved past there. We've got this prefrontal cortex here, the part of the neocortex, the most evolved part of the brain. But the more you activate that, and it's been proven scientifically through mindfulness that's how you activate that, through a practice, the more you learn to override the amygdala. The amygdala is the boss. It rules. But if you, just back to the train, you're sitting on the station, you're watching the constant train of thoughts go past. You've got the choice every second, every minute, every hour to be on the train, or through practicing mindfulness, through setting an intention and paying attention, or having a regular daily meditation practice, or Tai Chi, or yoga, or Qigong, or breathing practice, you can learn to get off the train and sit on the station. And it's like you're an observer, a witness to your thoughts. They're part of you, but they're not the only part of you. So you can learn to sort of watch them, and you learn to let them go. I've been practicing now for 25, 30 years. And I was a mess 30 years ago. I don't mind saying. I'm 65 this year. I was in senior positions in large multinational companies for 20 odd years. I was then the managing director of a company for 6 years, a large staging and events company in the events and tourism industry. So I know what a lot of you go through in educating about tourism and hospitality. So I was always in my head, and I didn't know how to get out of it. But I've learnt through practice, through mindfulness. And I've learnt now to access my prefrontal cortex. And when that's lit up, my amygdala quietens down, and I get clarity. I'm clear-headed. I'm not busy. I know what I'm going to say. I access all the amazing things that are in my body. I access my heart. I access my intuition. I access my vision. I access my wisdom. I access my innermost dominant thought. When the turbulence of distracting thoughts subsides, like the snow globe, and the mind becomes still, a great happiness and contentment and fulfillment arises naturally from within. We're all made that way. We've all got that within us, but we don't know how to access it because we're so busy a lot of the time. So mindfulness, what is it? It's the science of paying attention. It's being aware of where you're focusing your thoughts, of how distracted you are or how focused you are. And you can be mindful when you get it most of the day, if you really get it. But it takes practice. So we've done a gratitude meditation. I'm going to teach you a couple of other little practices right now. I'm going to teach you vodka breath, water breath, and coffee breath. Okay. And these will help you throughout the day. So the first one, I know you love this name. I'll teach you this one first. It's called vodka. Vodka breath. Okay, let's do it. I'll just explain what we're going to do, then I want you to do it with me. Okay? So, why do we drink vodka? Okay? Why do we drink vodka? Or why do we have the need or the urge to drink vodka? And that's not vodka, that's water. But it could be vodka, yeah? So, usually if I'm needing a vodka, I'm probably a little bit on edge. I'm a little bit stressed. I'm a little bit panicked. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I need to sort of put the brakes on. It's like, I liken this to, if you're feeling throughout the day where you're sort of just overwhelmed and you need to have a drink, or it's like when you're in a car and you're coming into a corner too fast and you need to brake and you only realise it when you're in the corner. It's that sort of feeling. And you still put the brakes on, even though they say don't do that, put it on before the corner. You're in the corner, you put the brakes on, okay? So vodka breathing gives you the same effect as that. It takes the edge off. But it's not like that you don't have to have a drink of vodka. I haven't had a drink of alcohol now for, is it 20 years? I haven't had a drink. I've got another alternative, vodka breathing. Here's what to do. I'm going to teach you what to do. I want you to sit comfortably still. I want you to put your hands on the side of your ribs. Think side of the ribs, okay? Women think bra strap. Men probably think bra strap. Okay, side of the ribs, hands there, okay? I want you to, let me explain it first. We're going to take a breath in for 4 seconds, and as you breathe in with the mouth closed, your ribs are going to expand outwards. I want you to feel your ribs expanding out, okay? You're going to breathe in for 4, expanding the ribs. You're going to then hold the breath for 7 seconds. I'm going to count. And then you're going to breathe out slowly for 8 seconds, all with the mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Okay, let's do it. Hands on the ribs, side of the ribs. Ready, set, go, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, expanding the ribs. Now hold the breath for 4 seconds, ribs expanded. Sorry, for 7 seconds. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now slowly breathe out for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do that again. Breathing in for 4, expanding the ribs. 2, 3, 4. Hold the ribs expanded for 7 seconds. Hold the breath. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now slowly breathe out for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do one more. Breathing in. 4. Hold the breath for 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now breathe out for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's intentional breathing. That's what I call vodka breath. Let me explain what that's doing to the brain and to the body. You're intentionally taking a shorter in-breath and a longer out-breath. In fact, it's like sighing. Just do a couple of sighs now. It's the same sort of thing. That's vodka breathing. You're breathing out longer than in. When you're breathing out longer than in, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, digest, relax part of the autonomic nervous system. Okay, the opposite to the stress response, which is the sympathetic nervous system. You're also activating the biggest nerve in the body called the vagus nerve. It sort of starts in the brain, it winds down through the back of the head, through the front of the throat, connects all the brain with all the organs in the body, the vagus nerve. When you're in your head all day, when you're busy, when you're panicked, when you're overwhelmed, when you're anxious, when you're stressed, well, as well as when you're anxious, you do a short, shallow mouth breathing. Okay. So when you do vodka breathing, you're activating the vagus nerve. You're activating the parasympathetic nervous system. You're also activating the prefrontal cortex right there, the most evolved part of the brain. You override the amygdala, the stress response. Let me just quickly, I've just drawn already the brain here. Let me just, I know you probably know this, but this is the brain. There's three animals in the brain. There's the lizard, there's the guard dog, and there's the wise owl. That's the evolution of the brain over time. When we're born, the lizard is fully online, the guard dog is online, the wise owl is still developing till we're in our 20s. Okay? The lizard brain is the hind brain. That's the base of the skull right there. That's two things basically. It's one, instinct, and two, impulse. Instinct is avoid pain. Impulse is seek pleasure. Instinct, impulse. When we're really stressed, and stress is all perception, we go back to lizard brain, hind brain, animal brain, reptilian brain. It's called a whole bunch of different things. Immanent mind. And we just want to avoid pain and seek pleasure. Seeking pleasure behaviour, we all do every day, a lot of us. We eat sugar, coffee hit, alcohol hit. They're all immediate gratification behaviours. We've evolved past that. We've now got this limbic brain, which is the mid part of the brain. This is the emotional brain. This includes two almond-shaped parts of the brain called the amygdala. This is the stress response. These are the emotions, positive, negative, happy, sad, elation, depression, up, down, high, low, etc., etc. This is the guard dog's the amygdala. The amygdala rules. It's the boss to save us. The reason we have 75% negative thoughts is because of this and this, because of our evolution. When we lived in caves, we needed these to be online. We needed to be on the lookout for danger. The amygdala still scans every day for danger, for threats, for physical danger, for incongruence in the environment, for the unknown. It's still scanning for that every day. That's why we're all, the whole world is in a heightened state of anxiety with this pandemic that's going on right now, because the brain's working. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just how it is. But it's your choice whether to be here, or now we have this wise owl. This is the neocortex. This is reason. Reason. The wise owl, I call it. The most evolved part is right there behind the forehead, the prefrontal cortex, right there. The more that lights up, the more you override the amygdala. The amygdala rules unless the prefrontal cortex is lit up. the best way to light up the prefrontal cortex, proven in thousands and thousands of studies, is mindfulness. Some other ways are breath, gratitude, and there's more, but they're the main ones that I want to talk about today. So there's a bit of science behind what I'm talking about to do with the brain. So let me teach you, I don't want to run out of time here. Let me teach you, I've taught you vodka breath. So that's what you do when you're feeling a little bit on edge. You need to put the brakes on. Let me teach you, you don't want to be drinking vodka all day. Okay? What is good for you all day? Water. So water breathing is good every now and again. Just check in with water breathing. If you want to get rid of the anxiety or the stress or the emotion, do some vodka breaths, maybe 6 of those, and then do some water breathing. Here's water breathing. Let's do it together. Sit comfortably still, feet flat on the floor. Back up straight. Water breathing is really simple. Breathe in for 4 to 5 seconds, mouth closed, breathing out through the nose, and then breathe out for 4 to 5 seconds. Big, long, deep, slow belly breaths if you can. Let's do it together. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Same length in, same length out. Lengthening the breath if you can. From normally 2 or 3 when you're doing stuff during the day, and probably mouth breathing, short, shallow mouth breathing, a symptom of anxiety. Shut your mouth, in and out through the nose, lengthen it to 4 or 5, balance it, 4 or 5 in, 4 or 5 out. That's water breathing. When you do water breathing, again, you'll activate the prefrontal cortex, you'll override the amygdala, you'll balance the emotions, all these emotions, which are imbalanced perceptions. And emotion is an imbalanced perception. So when you're in your drama, your pity party, poor me, stinking thinking, I'm having a bad day today, whatever it is, you're here when or you're back here. People with post-traumatic stress disorder, a clinical condition, it's still your perception that's creating that. The almond-shaped amygdala sometimes grows to as large as a plum. It can be as large as a plum in people that are labelled post-traumatic stress disorder. But it's been proven through mindfulness, they've done quite a few studies on this, that if the person with PTSD and the plum-shaped sized amygdala practices mindfulness 20 minutes a day for 6 weeks, they can shrink the amygdala back to the size of an almond. So that's vodka breath, that's water breathing. Let's teach you another one, and then we might get to some questions. Coffee breath. So what do we do when we're feeling lethargic? We usually want to have a coffee in the morning, in the afternoon, first thing when we get up, we want to drink a coffee. Here's coffee breathing. This is an alternative to coffee, to drinking coffee, which is basically, can be addictive. I know some of you love your coffee, so I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just giving you another alternative here through the breath to give you the same effect, the same benefit to the body. Okay? So let's do this together. I'll just explain it again. Sit up straight, feet flat on the floor, arms by the side, back straight. And this is shorter. Okay? Vodka breath was short in breaths, long out breaths. This is the reverse. Okay? Longer in breaths, shorter out breaths. So it's so longer in breaths through the nose, mouth closed, shorter out breaths through the mouth. You keep doing that for a little while, you'll get a natural high. You'll re-energize yourself. You'll wake yourself up. You'll activate all the things that you need to give you some energy. You'll re-energize yourself. just through some coffee breaths. Longer in breaths, shorter out breaths. It's that simple. So I'm just going to pause here for a big deep breath. It's about 20 to 4, so I want to leave plenty of time for questions. And I want to just know if you've got any comments right now. So just to summarise what I've said so far. Mindfulness is this. It's the science of paying attention. How do you get it? You get it through setting an intention by paying attention. Have a guess what happens when you set an intention and pay attention. Your retention, which is your memory, which is I'm sure what a lot of you need and use every day with your research or your studies, your retention, your memory increases dramatically, improves dramatically. So the brain loves it when you set an intention, when you pay attention, and the memory improves. And then there's 3 more attributes of the brain that the brain loves. We make decisions every day. We use our imagination, and we have the ability to be present. So they're what I call the 6 attributes of the brain. Forget the vodka there, that's not one of them. Intention, attention, retention, decision, imagination, and presence. They're all working optimally when you're practicing being present, when you're here right now. This is what I want you to get about mindfulness. Hope you've understood this. It's not something else you have to put on your to-do list. I don't want you to think of it as something else I've got to do. It's not about getting someplace else. It's about being where you already are right now, in this moment, and realising your full power and your full potential with your focus and attention here, right now. That's true mindfulness. And you can do that. Some of you could do that without even practicing. Because if you just set an intention and pay attention, when you're in the meeting, be in the meeting. When you're having a cup of coffee with your best friend or a drink of vodka with your best friend, just enjoy the vodka, enjoy the coffee, listen to your friend. Stop multitasking, which is what a lot of us do. We spend all our day, even when we're with friends or in meetings, we're looking at this, we're checking the emails, we're trying to do a report and we're looking at emails, we're answering the phone, we're constantly distracted. When you're constantly distracted, you're dissipating your energy. When your attention's all over the place, no wonder you're tired and exhausted and burnt out at the end of each day, because you're not utilising your mind and your brain the way it's intended, which is to single task with intention, to memorise things, to make decisions, use your imagination, your creativity, and be present. I'm just getting warmed up and it's time to finish. So I think I might leave it there, but I'll just leave you with one sort of summary of everything I've said. This, when you activate your prefrontal cortex, you activate your vision, your strategies, all the answers, all the solutions, all the wisdom that's in all of you. You've got all the answers to everything going in your life right now already. But as I said before, a lot of us are on that busyness train every day, and we don't have the clarity because we're not accessing our true inner voice, our true inner wisdom, our true intuition. So when the vision and the voice on the inside is louder and more profound than all the opinions and all the distractions on the outside, then you've truly begun to master your life. When the vision and the voice on the inside is greater and louder and more profound than all the opinions, all the distractions on the outside, then you've begun to truly master your own life, your own wisdom, your own intuition, all those amazing skills that are within you. And when the vision up here and the voice and the heart and what you're saying are all congruent and all connected, then you're in your true power. So I'm going to leave my little discussion there. I'm open to questions now. I just want you to think about what I've said, reflect on what I've said. I'm not sure how we're going to go through the questioning, whether you're going to come back, Edmund, or I'm just going to read the questions here. Yeah, look, mindful travelling, what a great idea. That's a question I've got here from someone. I actually take tours. When I was allowed to travel, I take groups to Uluru, India, Bhutan, and Japan every year, and I teach them as we're travelling through those countries, and they're magical tours. So, being in nature is another quick way to get straight back to mindfulness. That's a really good way to just connect, is to be within nature. I saw another question there, Edmund, about should I have a little practice or a longer practice? You should at least have 20 minutes a day, all the research suggests. If you're doing something 20 minutes a day for 6 to 8 weeks, you're then lighting up your prefrontal cortex and you're overriding your amygdala. That's the science. So I'd suggest you maybe not can start with 20 minutes, but if you start with 8 minutes or 6 minutes or something every day, just sit and do what we did at the start of this session. Just do sit still and do a little body scan meditation. In fact, if anyone wants to link me in or email me or just message me, I'm happy to send you that little guided meditation that we did to start the session. I'd be happy to email that to you directly. But I'll leave it up to you to find me, link me in or email me. My email's peter@businessisbliss.com.au. My website is Business is Bliss, so don't forget the is. That's a great way to start. That's about 8 minutes. I can see a question there when I'm in the flow of doing research. Look, it's still good to have a practice away from what you normally do, but if you're loving what you do or you're doing what you love, you'll be present anyway. So if you're in the flow, don't stop. If you're doing your research and you can do it for hours and hours, and that's what you do, and you love doing that, that's also another way to activate this prefrontal cortex. Okay, that's a good point. Sorry, Edmund, were you going to say something there?
No, I think it was a fantastic session. I think one of the I can't speak for everyone, but when I was listening to it, I did some of the exercises, and funny enough, I actually stopped thinking about work and research for the 8 minutes when you told us, all right, focus, stop thinking, and so on. I was really into the presentation, so it was really effective. And I think you really caught our attention when you mentioned vodka breathing. I think that pretty much, all of a sudden I could see everyone just stop messaging on chat and we were focusing on what you had to say. I think one question that I have, and I'm not sure if people would agree with me, is that I think as academics, sometimes we do too much and we overthink. Yep. And when we stop thinking or stop thinking about research or for the PhD, we actually tend to feel guilty though. So I'm not sure, is there any way to actually help us not to actually feel so guilty about not thinking about work? Because if we don't think about our research, we actually feel that there's something just doesn't feel right. So maybe you can share with us any tips.
Let me answer that question a couple of ways. Guilt is an imbalanced perception. So guilt is an emotion. So if you're guilty, you're in your amygdala or your limbic brain. So that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you can practice getting into your prefrontal cortex, the more you'll let go of guilt. You can let go of any emotion through practice. So mindfulness can help you let go of any emotion. An emotion is an imbalanced perception. Guilt, shame, anger, resentment, they're all imbalanced emotions. It's all limbic drama thinking. Okay? So that's a great question. But if you're doing what you love and you're loving what you do, I don't think you've got a right to feel guilty, because it's your life and you've got your own priorities and everyone's got different priorities. So we often feel guilty because we think we should be doing something else. So just think of that word should. Whenever you think I should be doing something else, that's not the true authentic you. That's someone else projecting what they think you should be doing onto you. Mm-hmm. So should is not what you listen to. That's not your intuition. That's mother, father, culture, leader telling you
supervisor.
advisor, whatever, supervisor, boss. Follow your intuition, which is, I want to do this. I love doing this. I can't wait to do this. I'm inspired from within to do this. That's who you follow. Headspace is a great app if you want an app to learn mindfulness. There's another one called Calm. I've had a couple of questions there about apps. I don't use apps. I prefer to do it myself, but yes, Headspace and Calm are the most popular apps to find some practices. Or email me and I'll send you my little 8-minute guided meditation. And that's a good way to start.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm just looking at the time here, and just because I don't really want to be kicked out of Zoom again, which I was in the first session. So I guess if there are no more questions, or if there are any more questions, we can take them offline. So once again, a big thank you to Peter Bliss, for sharing with us this wonderful mindfulness workshop, e-workshop, which is quite interesting to do it through online. We have really learned a lot. I think you have really helped us to uncover, one part of the brain, which is you need to learn to relax, don't overthink. Yep, and perhaps do things that you are very passionate about. Yep. And I think having 7,000 thoughts a day, I just can't imagine going through those 7,000 thoughts. Yeah. But you really give us an insider sort of perspective about, perhaps we should really kind of unwind and, don't take life so seriously after all, especially in these pandemic times, and learn to relax and clear your mind and relax it. So once again, Peter, thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing with us all of this.
Can I just finish with one more point,
yes.
Edmund? Your experience of this moment right now is profoundly influenced by where you're paying attention right now. So your experience of this moment right now is profoundly influenced by where you're paying attention, where you're focusing right now. And now that moment's gone. And now your experience of this moment right now, again, is profoundly influenced by where you're paying attention right now. So that's the main point I wanted to get across. Be aware of where you're paying attention. Don't manage your time, manage your attention. That's the new way to manage what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for having me, Edmund.
There you go. All right. Thanks a lot, Pete. All right. So I'm going to share you guys the screen now. Thank you so much for hanging around for 3 hours today. I know it was a long session. We started on a long day. So I just wanted to kind of close this whole this PhD workshop today. So once again, thank you so much. I hope this the mindfulness session really brought us, give us some impetus to think about, perhaps these 7,000 thoughts that we have every day. How many of these thoughts are actually research related? I'm pretty sure it's more than 50%. Yeah. Okay. So stop thinking about your PhD, all right, and go out there and enjoy your life as well. Okay. In the spirit of relaxing, one of our COTI members, Effie, she has organized a Zoom social event for all of us after this. So if you are around, and you'd like to join in, I've posted the link on the message chat column, all right, whereby you can actually click on and join us Zoom. So it's BYO, bring your own alcoholic beverages, all right? Okay, so, all right, in closing, okay, I would like to personally thank the organizing committee members of the PhD ECR workshop, all right, for their tireless efforts and passion. As you can see, we have Dr. Ina Reichenberg, Maldis Madani, Michael Hughes, and myself. A round of applause to them. Okay, well done. Without them, all right, they were actually doing all the back of house work about getting this session up and running. So without them, this would have not been possible. So big thank you to them though. And so we would also like to thank the panel members, the mentors, coffee and forum group for all their support and time in making this event possible. And of course, a big thank you to all the delegates who have registered for this workshop. Remember, you are the reason for COTI's existence. Without you, we wouldn't be around. So thank you very much for your support. There are lots of exciting workshops coming up. such as the applied qualitative techniques by Associate Professor Catherine Lattimore. And of course, I'll be chairing another session, which is the Meet the Editor session. So if you have a question that you have always been afraid to ask the editors, all right, send it to me. All right, I'll ask it on your behalf. All right, I'll be the scapegoat. Okay, all right. So to sum up the conference, there are 4 things that I wanted to say. First of all, we hope that we have preached to the converted, and now you have converted your thinking. Yep. Number 2, to rediscover your true passion, all right, for research, and be able to form your identity and chase after your identity in academia. Number 3, all right, as we heard from the panelists earlier this morning, during research, being in academia, it's not a 100-meter sprint. You don't have to do everything in 1 year. Okay, so space it out. It's a long marathon. As Sarah mentioned, it's a sort of a 40 years career path. So don't do everything in your first 5 years. All right, you have about 40 years to go. Okay, and lastly, on behalf of COTI, we wish you lots of publications in this year, PhD completions, teaching excellence, and of course, to actually get some service awards. All right, so once again, enjoy the COTI conference. All right, and we will see you at the opening keynote on Tuesday. All right, next week. All right, so if you have any questions, please send them through. And on behalf of COTI, thank you very much and goodbye for now. All right, see you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.